Hello Pally, I'm Anushka Sharma. Today is Tuesday, February 13th, 2018, and InFocus starts right now. Chloe Kim and Jamie Anderson tore up the halfpipe, adding 2 medals to the U.S. medal count. We have the full count. A new publication is on Pally's newsstands. We'll tell you what it's about. And Cooper Kim whips up something chocolatey in today's Cooking with Cooper. All that and more coming up in today's show. Now let's get caught up on what's going on around campus in today's campus bulletin. Course selection is due next Thursday. Students still have time to do the course selection tab on Infinite Campus and search for courses they are interested in taking next year. Print out your courses, time management activities, and AP contract if applicable, and turn them in to your advisor, not the office. Make sure to get all of your signatures. Students have the opportunity to win a brand new Patagonia or Hydro Flask and help keep our campus clean at the same time. Students spotted picking up trash around campus may be entered into the raffle. Submissions for the Spring's President's Award are due by February 23rd to complete a submission. Students can go to the link on the screen for a Google form to fill out. There will be an intramural basketball tournament from February 26th to March 2nd at lunch in the small gym. Winners will receive an In-N-Out gift card, and you can sign up on the URL on the screen. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Forget to buy a gift for that special someone? Don't worry, Valgrams will be sold today on the quad as well as at the 800 building or outside the MAC during lunch or flex. Lastly, if you are a junior or senior, don't plan on leaving campus during flex. There will be a mandatory assembly for juniors and seniors in the Performing Arts Center today during flex. Pally Choir is hosting the annual Spring Pops concert tonight and tomorrow. McKenna DiGeronimo is in the field with more information. McKenna?
Pally Choir is having its annual Pops concert in the PAC tonight and tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. This year's theme is Back to Motown. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and admission is $5 a student and $10 for adults. That's all for me. Back to you in the studio.
Now moving on from what's going on around campus to what's happening in the world today. Topping today's headlines. The islands of Tonga in the South Pacific have been ravaged by the tropical cyclone Gita. The cyclone has leveled several parts of the island, causing significant damage across the kingdom, with winds being reported at around 142 miles per hour. Tropical cyclone Gita hit the island last night with its peak between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. in the morning local time. The British Met Office reported that the cyclone Gita is one of the worst tropical storms to hit the island in nearly 60 years. The 2018 Olympics are in full swing now since the beginning of Friday. The U.S. currently holding 6 medals, 3 of them being gold. 2 of the gold medals are credited to U.S. Chloe Kim in the women's halfpipe competition and Jamie Anderson in the women's snowboard slopestyle. U.S. snowboarder Shaun White is expected to win a gold medal in his men's halfpipe competition later on this week. A tragic day for people in Russia when a Saratov Airlines flight crashed near Moscow, killing all 65 passengers and 6 crew members. The plane has headed to the Russian city of Orsk, but disappeared from the radar shortly after its takeoff. Emergency workers have located some wreckage of the plane that were strewn across the snowy fields outside of Moscow. Officials have launched a criminal investigation to determine the cause of the crash, but the crew did not report any prior issues with the plane. Now it's time to see what happened back in the day as we continue to celebrate Black History Month in today's installment of Today in History. Today in 1965, Malcolm X's home in New York City was bombed. Unharmed, Malcolm and his family kept a long-standing agreement to speak in Detroit the next day, which would be his last public appearance. Later, 1 week later, X was assassinated during a speech in Harlem. Today, our very own InFocus chef is whipping up something tasty in this week's Cooking with Cooper.
What's that? Love is in the air. Roses are red, violets are blue. Napoleon lost the Battle of Waterloo. I made this chocolate cake for you. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, a chocolate cake will be sure to satisfy your member of preferred sex. So let's get right down to cooking. For this recipe, you'll need all-purpose flour, sugar, cocoa powder, baking soda, salt, eggs, milk, vegetable oil, vanilla extract, and a cup of water boiling. The first step is that you'll need to preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit. The second step is to mix all your dry ingredients into one big bowl. You're going to need a cup and 3/4 of flour. You're going to need 2 cups of sugar. Got to keep it sweet for, the coming days. Next, you'll need 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. Smells like chocolate. Next, you'll need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and baking soda, and this will make your cake rise. And then finally, you're going to need a little bit of salt in there, so just a pinch of salt in there. So now you want to mix all your dry ingredients together, and I'm sure, guys, that all of our dominant arms are really strong from all these tough years of education and holding a pencil, putting that grind in. All right, the next step is you want to mix all your wet ingredients together in a bowl, and oh man, I'm so wet. Anyway, you wanted to mix all your, wet ingredients together like this. Step is you want to get your milk, about a cup, and you want to pour it in. So we got our great chocolate milk here. I'm a disappointment to my family. Alright, have a cup of vegetable oil. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So next you want to add a cup of boiling water. And my water might not be boiling with a B emoji, but we keep it heated. Next you want to mix in your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients. So you're going to do it a little bit at a time and stir. That's what good cake sounds like. Cooper! So you think you might be done here, but you're actually missing one critical and important ingredient, which of course is love. My love statement is something my grandma gave me 2 months ago. Thanks, Grandma. Wow. We're gonna now put the chocolate cake in the oven for approximately 30 minutes, or until you can put a toothpick in it and it comes out cleanly. Okay, in the meantime, while our cake is cooking, we're going to make the frosting. We're going to turn on our heat. The butter. We're going to melt the butter. 2/3 cups of cocoa powder. Pour it into a small bowl. 1/3 cup of milk. And just add a bunch of powdered sugar. So we messed up, and now it's a liquid sauce. So instead of frosting, we're going to be going with some chocolate sauce on our cake. So it's been here for about 40 minutes now. We're going to take it out. So we're just going to pour the sauce on the cake and hope for the best. We tried our best. Alright, our cake is done. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And remember, even if you have a significant other, always support your lonely boys.
To watch the story or any other features from InFocus, head on to our website at infocusnews.tv. Students and staff may have already read the new Verde special issues that were recently released. Members of one of Verde's new side projects, Veritas, sit down with Noor Navaid in today's installment of Campus Zoom.
Thanks. I'm joined by Frances from Verde Magazine, who's here to talk about a side project that she's doing off of Verde.
Yeah, so I'm here from Veritas, which is a special edition of Verde Magazine. We're a science special edition, so we focus on the Pali community and all the interesting research going on and how science intersects with our everyday lives here in Palo Alto.
So what made you interested in making a subject, like a science-oriented magazine?
Sure. So there's so many interesting topics to explore in science, and sometimes it feels as if we don't really get out of the textbook and into the real world and our everyday lives.
That's so important to do that,
Yeah, so that's why Veritas we created Veritas, and that's what we aim to approach with our content. In our newest issue, we have stories talking about concussions suffered by Pali athletes and sleep deprivation, which is something I'm sure all of us have experienced.
So is Verde going to still include some articles related to science, or is this going to be something completely different, but just only holding science issues?
Sure, so Veritas is a special edition. We are going to have mostly science-oriented stories. Verde is our news and features magazine. We occasionally have a science-oriented story, but Veritas is going to be mostly science.
That's really cool, and I think that's much needed in Pali. Like you said, we need more application experience stories out there, so I think that's really important that you guys are doing that. Thank you so much for joining me, Frances.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is a really awesome project.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Well, that does it for today's episode. Be sure to visit our website or check out old episodes, check the bulletin, or send us an email. Until next time, have a great day, Pally.